Hello students, welcome to math series of class 8th, and this is the 6th video of this series. And if you haven't watched the previous videos, then go to our channel and watch those all videos first so that you could understand this one easily. Alright, so in this video we are going to study four new concept of rational numbers, right? So that are additive inverse, multiplicative inverse, and role of 0 and role of 1. Alright, so let's get started. So we are going to discuss first of all additive inverse in this video. Alright, so what is this additive inverse? So additive inverse is nothing but the negative of a number is referred to as additive inverse of that number. So let's take an example, that is, if I consider additive inverse of -2, so that is 2. So you are to just take minus of any number or negative of any number, that is additive inverse. Alright, and there is a note which you have to consider over here as well, that is, if we add a number and its additive inverse, we always get 0. You can see an example over here as well, this one. Right, let's take a number that is 5, and what should be the additive inverse of 5? That is -5. And if I add this number and additive inverse of this number, that is -5, so we always get what? 0. So that is a not on additive inverse, that is, if we add a number and its additive inverse, we always get 0. Now moving to next point of this video, that is multiplicative inverse. Alright, this is also known as reciprocal. So how will we define reciprocal of any number? If let's take a rational number, that is a upon b. So if a upon b is a rational number, then what should be reciprocal of that number? So reciprocal of that number is like b upon a. So you are to just inverse of that number, right? So that is nothing but reciprocal of that number, and that is also called as multiplicative inverse. But you have to consider two notes over here. One of them is there is an integer that is 0 whose multiplicative inverse or reciprocal doesn't exist, right? You can see on the screen as well, that is the first note of multiplicative inverse, that is over here. So you can see on the screen as well that there is an only integer, that is 0, who has no reciprocal. Now you have to tell me that why is it so that 0 has no reciprocal in the comment box. Now consider the second point of the multiplicative inverse, or second note of that multiplicative inverse. So that is what? So if we multiply a number to its multiplicative inverse, we always get what? We always get 1. Let's take an example. Let's consider -5. Alright, and we have to multiply this number by its multiplicative inverse. Then what should be the multiplicative inverse of -5? It should be what? -1 upon 5. Isn't this so? Now I try to multiply these two numbers. So this minus is multiplied by this minus, we always get what? Plus. And 5, this 5 is cancelled out from this 5, so we will get what? 1. So what is the concept over here? If we multiply a number by its multiplicative inverse or reciprocal, we always get what? 1. In case of additive inverse, we have discussed that if we add an additive number with its if we add a number with its additive inverse, we always get what? 0. Alright, now moving to next point, role of 0. 0 is like also called as what? Additive identity. Now what does it mean, additive identity? Additive identity is nothing but if we add 0 to any number, we always get the same number. You can take an example over here, that is minus 6 upon 7. And if you are to add 0 to minus 6 upon 7, you will get the same number, that is minus 6 upon 7. You can take another example as well, like if you are to take 6, 7 or minus 6, whatever you want to take, you take any number and add that number to with 0, you get the same number. That is why we call 0 as additive identity. Alright, because we get the same number if we add 0 with any number. Alright, now moving to next point, that is role of 1. So 1 is also called as multiplicative identity. Now what does it mean? It means that if we multiply by 1 with any number, we get the same number. You can take an example over here. Let's take minus 519. So if we multiply minus 519 with 1, we get the same number, that is minus 519. So you can take another examples as well. So that is you can take another examples and you can understand this concept that if we multiply any number by 1, we get the same number. That is why we call 1 as multiplicative identity. Alright, so now you can solve the first exercise of rational number. Alright, we have discussed all the concept of first exercise of the first chapter of your syllabus, that is rational number. So you can solve all the questions of exercise 1.1. you can see on the screen as well. This one you can solve this one. Now we have discussed all the concept of this exercise and you can solve all the examples as well. Alright, so on this note we conclude this video. Thanks for watching.